The human ship Artemis floated above the green world of Virelia like a silver drop in the sky. Its hull shimmered in the sunlight, reflecting clouds in the thick jungle canopy below. Commander Eli Turner pressed his hand against the control panel and stared out the viewport. The planet was alive in ways that reminded him of Earth, but everything here was slightly different. The trees seemed taller, their leaves brighter, almost glowing with an inner light. Strange mist floated over rivers that cut through the jungle like veins. He had read reports from distant probes, but nothing could prepare him for seeing it with his own eyes. "Commander," said Lieutenant Mira Vance, her voice calm but filled with awe. "The scans show no hostile life. Atmosphere is breathable, with minor filtering. This planet could support human life." She adjusted her gloves, her fingers dancing over the instruments. But the signals we're picking up, they're not natural. There's intelligence here. Something alive, moving, and aware. Eli nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and caution. They had been sent to make first contact with a species that had never interacted with humans before. No one knew what kind of intelligence awaited them. Could the inhabitants be friendly? Hostile? Curious? Or perhaps indifferent? The unknown always carried weight, but Eli had trained for this, and humanity had survived worse unknowns before. He smiled quietly. "Then, let's go meet them." The landing gear extended, and the ship shuddered as it touched down on the soft soil. Small clouds of dust rose around the base, but the ship's lights illuminated the jungle, revealing shapes moving in the distance. At first, the humans thought the shadows were animals, but soon they realized the shapes were humanoid, though unlike anything from Earth. They were tall, amphibious creatures with smooth, glistening skin that shifted colors as they moved. Their eyes were large, round, and curious, reflecting light like liquid mirrors. Most striking of all, they had only one fully developed arm at the center of their chests. Their other limb was a thin vestigial structure, barely able to move. The humans stepped out of the ship, the crunch of the soft earth under their boots echoing through the clearing. Eli led the way, his team behind him, scanning the area for any sign of aggression. Instead, the creatures stopped in their tracks. One of them, a young female, stepped forward. She moved with cautious grace, her single arm swaying in front of her. Her skin shimmered a light green and silver. Her head tilted curiously. "Human," she said, her voice soft but clear. Eli froze. She had spoken his language, perfectly understandable. "Why do you have two?" Eli blinked. He looked down at his arms, then back at her. "Two what?" he asked. "The limbs," she said, pointing at his arms. "Our men only have one. It excites me."
"Why do you have two?"
For a moment, no one spoke. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Mira whispered, "She means our arms. The humans have two fully functional arms. They only have one." Eli chuckled softly, realizing the truth. "You mean our arms? Well, humans have two because it helps us do more things at once. We can hold, build, and manipulate things with both hands." The alien girl's eyes widened. She reached out toward his arms and touched the sleeve of his uniform with her single arm. She lifted one of his hands, and then his shoulder. "Two? Both do the same work? You can do double?" "Yes," Eli said, smiling. "We can. It helps a lot." The girl's excitement was clear. She leapt back slightly and twirled, pointing to her friends who had been watching from the edge of the clearing. "You have two! Two! Look at them! They can do twice the work."
"They are amazing."
Her voice was filled with awe and laughter. The other Xiphorians began to gather, their eyes wide, curious, and cautious. None of them had ever seen a human up close, and certainly none had imagined creatures capable of using two limbs at once. Eli knelt slightly to meet her gaze. "I promise we are not here to harm you." We want to learn about you and maybe teach a little about ourselves. The girl, Lyra, nodded rapidly. She gestured to Eli and then to the sky. Teach us.
Show us how you do it! We want to see!
We want to try, Mira whispered in Eli's ear. Commander, we need to be careful. They are curious, but we don't know how they will react if things go wrong. Eli nodded. We'll be careful, but I think curiosity is a good start. Lyra picked up a small stick from the ground, held it in her single arm, and mimicked Eli's gestures. She tried to stack rocks like the humans had, but with only one arm, the process was slow and awkward. She laughed at herself, and the humans couldn't help but smile. The scene was almost playful, a dance between two species trying to understand each other. Days passed, and the humans slowly integrated into the Zephorian village, which was built high in the trees with rope bridges and platforms. Lyra became their guide, eagerly showing them every part of her world. She asked endless questions about human bodies, machines, and tools. How do you carry two things at once? She asked one day, balancing two small logs. How do you eat, hold, and move all at the same time? Eli explained, demonstrating simple tasks. He built a small platform from vines and rocks, lifting and placing each piece carefully. Lyra watched with wide eyes, then tried to imitate him, using her one arm and vestigial limb as best as she could. Though clumsy, she persisted, and her determination impressed the humans. It became clear that the Zephorians had a culture built around limitation. Each individual had mastered one limb to perfection, creating tools and games suited for their physiology. But humans, with two arms, could accomplish multiple tasks simultaneously, a concept that was alien and fascinating to them. Lyra's fascination was not just about curiosity, it was admiration. She had never seen anyone so versatile. One evening, as the twin suns of Virelia began to set, painting the sky in streaks of gold and violet, Eli and Lyra sat on a high platform overlooking the jungle. She leaned forward, her single arm dangling over the edge. "Human," she said softly, "you do so much at once. You are not like us." It excites me. It makes me want to learn everything you can teach. Eli smiled, realizing the weight of her words. She didn't mean excitement in a shallow sense. It was genuine fascination. Humans had a strength beyond raw power. They had ingenuity, adaptability, and curiosity. Those traits could inspire awe in any intelligent species. Over the following days, the humans taught Lyra and other Zyphorians simple skills, like using two tools at once to construct small shelters, stacking materials in ways the Zyphorians had never imagined, and even playing simple coordination games. The Zyphorians struggled at first, but slowly began to understand the concept of multi-purpose action, a revolutionary idea for a species with a single functional limb. By the end of the week, the humans and Zyphorians had created a small bridge together, combining human skill and Zyphorian dexterity. Lyra ran across it, laughing, pointing to Eli and the team. "You see what two arms can do." You are amazing, humans. I want more. I want to learn everything. Eli felt a surge of pride. Humanity often faced threats from without and within, and yet, here on a distant alien world, their simplest traits, two arms, curiosity, and teamwork, were enough to inspire a whole species. At night, the humans returned to their temporary quarters, exhausted but exhilarated. Mira turned to Eli.
You know, Commander, this is what HFY is all about. We didn't fight, we didn't conquer.
We simply showed what humans are capable of, and they're fascinated. That's the victory. Eli nodded, staring out at the glowing jungle below.
Yes.
But I also know this is only the beginning. Something about this place. It feels like they have more to teach us as well. And I have a feeling Lyra is going to be the one to guide us into it. Lyra watched the humans from above, the moonlight reflecting off her skin. They are strange, she whispered to herself, smiling. They are so complete. 2 limbs, so much they can do. I must understand them. I must learn. And so the first seeds of friendship and the spark of human inspiration were planted on Virelia. What had begun as simple curiosity would soon grow into something larger, something neither humans nor Xiphorians could have predicted. The jungle was quiet now, save for the distant calls of strange creatures, but in the hearts of humans and aliens alike, a new connection had been forged. The universe, vast and indifferent, had just witnessed the first step of something remarkable. And for Eli Turner, it was the beginning of an adventure that would challenge his team, his understanding, and humanity itself in ways he could never have imagined. Days passed on Virelia, and the humans settled into the rhythms of the alien jungle. The Xiphorians, led by Lyra, had begun to see the humans not just as strange creatures, but as something more. Partners, teachers, and in some ways, examples of what a species could achieve when it embraced its full potential. Commander Eli Turner and his team worked tirelessly to understand Xiphorian society, studying their tools, language, and even games. The Xiphorians had a rich culture built around coordination and skill with their single arm, but their limitations were evident. Many tasks that humans found trivial were nearly impossible for the Xiphorians, and Lyra was quick to notice this gap. "You can do so much at once," she said one afternoon, watching Eli carry 2 baskets at the same time while climbing a narrow rope bridge. "You hold, lift, and balance. How do you manage it all?" Eli laughed softly. "It takes practice, just like your people practice with your single arm. But having 2 arms means we can try more things at the same time. Sometimes it makes life easier. Sometimes it helps us survive." Lyra tilted her head, her eyes reflecting a mixture of awe and determination. "I want to try," she said. "I want to learn what it means to do double. I want to be able to do more than one thing." And so, the training began. Eli and his team taught Lyra how to manipulate 2 tools at once, how to balance objects in both hands, and even how to coordinate her vestigial limb in ways she had never imagined. At first, she stumbled constantly, dropping rocks, knocking over stacks, and sometimes falling off platforms entirely. But she persisted. Her excitement never faded. And slowly, she improved. Other Xiphorians watched from the platforms and bridges above, whispering among themselves. Some were skeptical, shaking their heads at the humans' confidence. Others were curious, secretly wishing they could do what the humans did. Lyra became a bridge between the species, demonstrating human techniques to her peers. "See," she said, balancing 2 vines in her hands. "It is possible. Humans are not just strange. They are clever. They can do more than we can with 1 limb." The Xiphorian elders frowned. Their society valued mastery of limitation, and here were humans showing that limitations could be overcome in ways they had never imagined. "You cannot teach them everything," one elder said, his voice deep and careful. "Humans are not like us. Their ways may be dangerous. They may disrupt our balance." But Lyra shook her head. "No, elder. They are not dangerous. They are inspiring. They show us something we have never seen. We can learn, and we will be stronger for it." It was a bold statement, but Lyra was confident. And the humans, in turn, were learning about Xiphorian skill, agility, and resilience. Mira Vance noted how quickly Xiphorians could move across platforms, scale walls, and maneuver in the trees with astonishing precision. They are incredible, she whispered to Eli one morning. If we combine their agility with our coordination, the possibilities are endless. Eli nodded. That's exactly what I've been thinking. Humans may have 2 arms, but Xiphorians have speed, reflexes, and instincts we could never match. Together,
We could do remarkable things. The next challenge came unexpectedly.
one morning the humans were teaching a small group of Xiphorians to lift and move multiple objects at once when a loud, shrill alarm echoed across the jungle. Lyra froze, her single arm rising in alarm. Something comes! Something is coming! Eli immediately activated the ship's scanners. We're picking up multiple signals. Fast-moving, large. Not Xiphorian. Not human. Unknown origin. From the treetops, the humans could see a dark shape moving through the jungle. It was fast, coordinated, and powerful, leaving destruction in its wake. The Xiphorians panicked, chattering in alarmed tones. Lyra grabbed Eli's arm. We must help! We must defend our home! Eli nodded, understanding immediately. The humans had come here to study and learn, but they could not stand by while innocent lives were threatened. Everyone, prepare for defensive measures, but remember, we don't want to destroy the forest. We need to protect the Xiphorians and their way of life. The unknown invaders moved quickly, revealing themselves as the Dreylocks, a rogue alien faction with mechanical exosuits and advanced weapons. They were scavengers, known for taking resources from planets and leaving destruction in their wake. Their goal was simple: exploit Virelia's natural abundance without regard for the Xiphorians. The humans and Xiphorians worked together, trying to set traps and barricades. But the Dreylocks were strong, their weapons precise. The Xiphorians' single-limb combat techniques were insufficient against such foes. Lyra watched as her people struggled, and her frustration grew. We cannot fight them alone, she said, her voice trembling. We need humans. You must show us how to be stronger. Eli realized the opportunity. We can combine our strengths. Humans can coordinate multiple actions at once, while your people can move fast and adapt to the terrain. If we work together, we can turn the jungle into an advantage. The plan was simple, but risky. Humans would handle the complex tasks, moving barricades, setting traps, and coordinating movements, while Xiphorians would act as scouts, flanking the invaders and using their agility to confuse and slow them. Lyra volunteered to lead a small unit through the trees, signaling the humans when the Dreylocks were vulnerable. The battle began at dawn. The jungle was alive with movement. Humans lifted heavy barriers, dropped nets, and swung logs from vines, all while coordinating with the Xiphorians above. The Dreylocks were caught off guard. Their strength was formidable, but their machines could not anticipate the speed and coordination of this combined force. Lyra led a team across the branches, dropping projectiles and signaling the humans below. Now! Move now! She shouted. Eli and his crew reacted instantly, lifting multiple obstacles at once, blocking the Dreylocks' path and forcing them into narrow channels where their weapons were less effective. For the first time, the Xiphorians truly understood the advantage of 2 arms. Humans could do several things at once, adjust to unexpected changes, and react with precision. Lyra pointed this out constantly, her voice filled with excitement. Look! They can carry 2 loads at once. They can build and defend. They can do what we cannot do alone. Hours passed, and the Dreylocks began to retreat, unable to overcome the unexpected coordination of humans and Xiphorians working together. Sweat dripped from Eli's brow, and Lyra's single arm ached from the effort. But the victory was clear. The jungle was safe, and the invaders had been forced to flee. After the battle, the Xiphorians gathered around the humans, their eyes wide with admiration and gratitude. Lyra approached Eli, her chest heaving with exhaustion. You humans, you are amazing. You are not like us, yet you fight with us. You do so much with 2 limbs, and it inspires us. I want I want us to be like you.
I want us to learn everything you can teach. Eli smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride.
Humanity had faced countless challenges across the stars, but moments like this reminded him of what made humans special: adaptability, ingenuity, and courage. Lyra, he said, we can teach you many things, but remember, your people have skills we could never match. Agility, reflexes, instinct. We can learn from each other. Mira nodded, adding, this is how humans survive, not by brute strength, but by using what we have, learning, adapting, and working together.
Your species has incredible potential, Lyra. We just helped show one way to use it.
Lyra's eyes shone with excitement.
Then teach us. Show us how to do more.
Show us how to be strong together. As the sun set over Virelia, painting the sky in shades of red and gold, the humans and Xiphorians worked side by side. They built new structures, repaired damaged areas, and experimented with new techniques. The jungle, once a place of fear and mystery, had become a classroom, a proving ground, and a symbol of collaboration. Eli stood on a high branch, looking down at Lyra, demonstrating a coordinated stacking of materials with a Xiphorian and a human working together. He realized that this was the essence of HFY, not fighting alone, not dominating, but showing what humans could do and inspiring others to reach beyond their limitations. In the quiet moments before night fully fell, Lyra approached Eli again. You have two, she said softly, pointing to his arms. We have one, but now, maybe we can learn to do more. Maybe we can become stronger, like you, in our own way. It excites me, Eli smiled, placing a hand on her shoulder.
It excites me too, Lyra. But remember, the universe is vast, and danger is always near.
What we've done here is just the beginning. Together, we can face anything. And so, the humans and Xiphorians prepared for the future, knowing that challenges would come, but also knowing that by working together, by learning from each other, and by embracing the uniqueness of every species, they could overcome anything. The jungle was no longer just a place of mystery. It was a testament to the power of curiosity, courage, and cooperation. The Draylocks might return, but humanity had shown what it meant to be more than ordinary, to inspire and lead without domination, and to make allies out of those who had once only known limitation. And Lyra, the alien girl who had marveled at human hands, would be at the forefront of this new era of cooperation. Her excitement a spark that could ignite an entire species. In the darkness of night, with stars reflecting in the jungle rivers, Eli Turner knew this was only the start. Virelia had already changed, and in the days to come the humans' presence would shape the Xiphorians in ways both thrilling and profound. The jungle of Virelia was alive with movement, the canopy trembling with wind and the soft steps of its inhabitants. Commander Eli Turner stood on the edge of a high platform, his eyes scanning the dense foliage below. For days, humans and Xiphorians had trained together, learning from each other, combining skills, and preparing for the unexpected. But the calm was deceptive. Eli knew something was coming. Lyra ran up the steps to him, her single arm holding a bundle of vines, her vestigial limb moving in coordination as she balanced herself with ease.
Commander, she said, her voice urgent but steady. I've seen them. More Draylocks are coming.
They're stronger than the last group. They're preparing to strike at the village itself. Eli's jaw tightened. How many? He asked. Lyra pointed toward the horizon. Too many to fight head-on. They move like the wind through the jungle. If we try to meet them in the open, we will lose. Eli looked at his team, seeing the tension mirrored in their faces. Then we fight smart, he said. Humans have something no one else has. 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 minds, working together. And you, he pointed to Lyra, your agility, speed, and instinct give you an advantage no machine can match. Together, we can make a plan they will not expect. The humans and Xiphorians spent the rest of the day preparing. They constructed traps, laid vines that could swing heavy logs, and built platforms that could collapse under the Dreylock's weight. Eli demonstrated tasks that required using both arms simultaneously, lifting, balancing, and manipulating multiple tools at once. The Xiphorians were astonished at how much humans could accomplish in a short time. Lyra worked tirelessly, practicing every maneuver with her people. She learned to coordinate her single arm with her vestigial limb in ways that complemented human techniques. If we move together, if we anticipate each other, she said, we can turn our limitations into strengths. Humans do it naturally. Now we can too. By nightfall, the jungle was ready. The humans and Xiphorians hid among the trees, waiting for the Dreylocks to make their move. Eli felt a mixture of excitement and tension. The last skirmish had been a success, but this threat was larger, more coordinated. The Dreylocks had come prepared, and their technology far surpassed anything the Xiphorians had ever encountered. When the first signs of movement appeared at dawn, Eli and Lyra signaled their teams. The Dreylocks advanced, armored and mechanical, their weapons gleaming in the rising sun. They moved confidently, assuming the humans would be caught off guard. But Eli had anticipated this. Remember, he whispered to Lyra, 2 arms can do what 1 cannot. Focus, coordinate, and adapt. Don't fight alone. Work together. Lyra nodded. We understand. Let's begin. The attack was swift. The Dreylocks moved through the jungle like shadows, but the humans and Xiphorians were ready. Humans swung logs using both hands, creating barriers that the Dreylocks could not easily bypass. Vines were pulled taut and released to trip their mechanical legs. Rocks were lifted and hurled with precise coordination, something only possible with human dexterity. Lyra led her squad through the canopy, signaling with gestures that humans and Xiphorians alike could understand. She swung between branches, her speed and agility unmatched. Using the techniques Eli had taught, she could hold 2 objects at once, manipulating traps while simultaneously directing her team. The Dreylocks were caught off guard, unable to predict where the next attack would come from. The jungle became a battlefield of strategy rather than brute force. Humans moved with precision, their 2 arms allowing them to perform multiple actions at once, blocking one attack, disarming another, and coordinating with Xiphorians below. The Xiphorians, inspired by human techniques, acted with new confidence, setting traps and guiding the humans' movements. Despite the chaos, Eli noticed something extraordinary. The humans' ability to think and act with 2 hands simultaneously allowed them to improvise in ways the Dreylocks could not. They could adapt to unexpected changes, manipulate multiple tools, and react faster than the enemy anticipated. Lyra watched this in awe, realizing that humans were not just strong. They were ingeniously efficient, a combination of skill, curiosity, and adaptability. Hours passed. The Dreylocks pressed forward, but their numbers could not overcome the humans' coordination and the Xiphorians' agility. Eli led a small team through the treetops, using ropes and vines to flank the invaders. He lifted 2 nets at once, dropping them precisely to capture incoming units, while directing Xiphorians to cut off the enemy's retreat. The combination of 2 arms and 2 minds working together allowed humans to accomplish what seemed impossible. Lyra shouted from above, "Now! Swing the logs! Drop the rocks!" Her single arm moved with incredible speed, her vestigial limb assisting with balance and precision. The Dreylocks were forced into narrow pathways where their mechanical advantage was neutralized. They fought hard, but the humans' ingenuity and the Xiphorians' adaptability were overwhelming. By midday, the Dreylocks were retreating. Their numbers were still large, but the jungle had become a maze of traps and ambushes. Humans lifted and moved obstacles in real time, blocking paths and creating new opportunities for Xiphorians to strike. Lyra coordinated everything from above, guiding humans and her people with a level of efficiency that amazed even Eli. Finally, the last of the Dreyloks fell back. The humans and Zephyrians had held their ground, turning what could have been a disaster into a decisive victory. The jungle was littered with broken machinery and scattered debris, but no lives had been lost among the humans, or Zephyrians. Eli and his team gathered with Lyra and the Zephyrian leaders. Lyra's eyes shone with admiration as she looked at the humans. "You see, this is what I have always wanted. You do more than one thing at a time. You think, act, and create all at once. It excites me. It inspires me. We can learn from you and be stronger because of it." The Zephyrian elders were thoughtful. They had witnessed firsthand the power of coordination, ingenuity, and adaptability. Their society, built around limitation, had learned a lesson that would change them forever. Sometimes, having more, whether it is limbs, knowledge, or ideas, can make all the difference. Eli spoke gently, addressing both humans and Zephyrians. "What we've done here today is not just about victory. It's about learning from each other. Humans have 2 arms, yes, but your people have skills we cannot match. Agility, instinct, courage, these are just as important as any tool. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart." Lyra smiled, nodding rapidly.
Yes! Together we can do more than we ever imagined.
Humans show us what is possible. Now we see it, and we will not forget. The aftermath of the battle was also a time of discovery. Humans shared techniques for construction, teamwork, and problem-solving, while Zephyrians taught humans how to move with speed and precision through the trees, how to anticipate movement, and how to adapt to unpredictable terrain. Every interaction strengthened the bond between the species, and each day brought new lessons. One afternoon, Eli and Lyra sat on a high platform overlooking the jungle. The sun glinted off the leaves, casting dappled shadows below. Lyra held a stick in her hand, mimicking human movements, and then laughed at her own awkwardness. "I am learning," she said, "but still, humans can do so much." 2 arms, 2 minds, together. How is it possible? Eli smiled. "It's not magic. It's practice, curiosity, and the ability to adapt. We learn from mistakes, adjust, and keep trying. You can do the same. You already have the skill. You just need to coordinate in new ways." Lyra's gaze was thoughtful. "Then perhaps we can teach our people to think like this, not just with 1 arm, but with both, in spirit. If we combine our agility and speed with your techniques, perhaps we can become extraordinary." Eli nodded. "That is the goal. The universe is full of challenges. You've already survived one. But together, with cooperation and ingenuity, you can face anything." Night fell over Virelia, and the jungle became quiet once more. Stars reflected in the rivers, and a gentle wind rustled the leaves. Humans and Zephyrians alike rested, knowing that their partnership had saved lives, preserved the jungle, and shown the true strength of collaboration. Lyra stayed awake a little longer, gazing at the humans training below. She whispered to herself, 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 ways to think and act. Humans are strange, but they are perfect in their own way. I must understand them. I must learn. One day, we will be like this too. Eli watched her silently, realizing that this young alien was not only curious but wise. She had seen the value of human ingenuity, and she would carry that knowledge back to her people. Humanity had done more than survive. They had inspired, taught, and created allies. And in doing so, they had proven once again what it meant to be human. The Dreyloks might return, stronger and smarter, but the humans had already changed Virelia forever. Lyra and her people had glimpsed the possibilities beyond their limitations, and the bond between species had grown unbreakable. Eli felt a sense of pride, not just in the victory, but in what it represented, the unique human ability to adapt, to inspire, and to lead without dominating. Veralia was alive with new energy, new ideas, and new hope. And somewhere in the jungle, Lyra smiled, knowing that she had witnessed something extraordinary, the kind of moment that would echo for generations to come. The battle was over, but the story was only beginning.